You didn't just write a song called blah, 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 blah. And
we spoke about X, Y, and Z, yeah.
And anyway, how the hell did you hear that song? It was Nia.
Oh my God.
My mum at one point might have been doing 3 jobs. My dad's doing 2 jobs. If you're asking me am I going to start in the music industry now, the answer is no.
Welcome to another episode of the Hot Seat. I'm Rich Castillo, and today we have the legendary Danny D, MBE. Today we're going to talk about Danny's career, how he got into the business, and everything you need to know about breaking in the music business. Danny, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
You're someone who's been in the business for a fair amount of time.
Forever, you knew.
I was going to say forever, but a fair amount of time. And I want to just for the people that are not totally familiar with you, I want to sort of dive in on how you got into the business, some of the sort of highlights over the years around your career. I want to talk about Stella. I want to talk about some of the characters that have been in your life sort of got to this point, and how the sort of business changed and how you're dealing with that day to day. So, just firstly, how did you get into the business? What was your sort of entry point?
I was a DJ. But actually, the real entry was doing the family shopping. I was raised in Stonebridge, but in fact, I better correct that. I was born in Kilburn. I always get it from my mum when I say, why do you always say you're born in Stonebridge? I was born in Kilburn, but my formative years, I was raised in Stonebridge. Okay. But that's where I'm doing all I'm doing the family shopping. So, you know, for those who know the Harlesden Stonebridge is like a little bit of a walk. I'd go do this shopping, but then I'd carry these bags back home.
Yeah.
On the way back home, I'd always pass 2 record shops.
What were they?
One was called All Ears Records, and the other one was the famous reggae distribution company called Jetstar.
Caddy.
I would always stop. As soon as I hear music, I stop. It's like, and there's something in me. I hear music. It's like as we're sitting here talking now, if there's a tune playing, you'll notice that I'll do that. I'm still listening to you, but I've also clocked what's going on over there. And that's always been a part of me. So I would venture into these stores and just be listening to tunes. I haven't got any money.
With
the bags. Yeah, man. And one of the guys in the stores realizes that I've got a good ear. Okay. And I was like, well, I don't even know what you're talking about. But anyway, you play a good tune. I'll say, oh no, that's a tune. You know, just automatically and instinctively react.
You had like taste.
Well, just what I like at the end of the day. And then one day I've gone in there and he's like, what is it with you? You always pick out the tunes which end up being like big hits. And I'm like, I just like whatever I like. There's no rhyme or reason. It's not about genre. It's just if it's good, I'm in, you know. Yeah. This guy, I didn't know, he actually owned the store. He actually starts to mentor me. So he invites me to his house. When I went to his house, the first time I'd seen what we call a proper record collection, where I get taken into a room and it's wall to wall of vinyl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Just like, what is this? And everything is in pristine condition. So at the time, I think I was into like Lovers Rock was a big thing.
Some Lovers Rock.
Right. So, but I didn't realize, and maybe you didn't realize at the time, that the majority of those Lovers Rock songs that we ended up loving were all covers of soul tunes.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I was older in life. So I remember hearing like classic, I don't know, Whitney Houston songs or
exactly
in a sort of like a reggae version. I remember doing chores to songs that I ended up realizing that were big hits.
Yes,
which is that's just from my household. But yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, so he kind of gave me a lesson in where all these songs were coming from, and how one genre would be influenced by another. So I remember at the end of that day, he gives me like 12 albums, but tells me, you make sure that they come back in the exact condition that I've given them to you. So I actually walk home with the records like this. It's like a mile walk. But I walk because it's like, I cannot mess up these Because I've never seen the records in this condition. My dad's got a collection. It's on the floor. You kind of battered about. These are pristine. So I've got to make sure. Do you know what I mean? And this kind of really started a whole thing. And I really learned about blues, the assertion from blues to rock, hip hop. How one thing just leads into another. Elements of one become the core and the basis of something else. And it was one of the best educations that I ever had.
And were you sort of into listening to the actual records, like intimately, or were you sort of looking at credits and finding characters? What was your sort of process for when you? I wasn't
a credit man. I was just a vibe man. Okay. And to this day, doesn't matter about genre. If it's good, it's good. Yeah. And once my brain picks up on that, it's like, yeah, what is that? I'll always do that. Yeah. I have meetings with people, and they'll come in. They'll play 9 dead songs. They'll play the one tune. Which like, nah, that's working. I'll get them to play it 10 times. Yeah. And maybe on the 10th time, that's what I've started to actually break it down.
As in why it's good?
Yes. Okay. And the elements, it's like, but up until that point, I'm just enjoying it. Because I think that's a big part of for those of us in the industry, we're kind of missing that piece. Yeah. We become so analytical and all the rest of that we're not. Are we actually enjoying music for what it was when you first started? You heard a tune, you just loved the tune.
Yeah, you felt it. Yeah, for real.
Did you actually even listen to the lyric? Maybe not.
Yeah, sometimes not. Sometimes it just made you feel good.
Exactly. Yeah. And that for me that's the beginning. If I get that feeling, that's what really gets me going. Then I start to break it down. Yeah,
and do you ever find that feeling has proved you wrong? Do you ever find that
on many occasions?
But that's okay.
That's fine. But it's not every day that you're going to win. Yeah. And it's not every song that you like that someone else likes. Yeah. And when you get in this business, you understand. Yeah, there's a risk. It's like 1 in 10, 1 in 20, 1 in 30, 1 in wherever. Especially now.
Bigger companies, you get
exactly
broader and harder to find.
So you got to stand by what you like
in terms of and have conviction with it.
100%.
And you obviously over the years you've managed to sort of refine your sort of ability to sort of identify what that is. You work closely with Tim Blacksmith as well. How did you two meet? And what was the sort of how did you two actually start as a duo? How did that actually come to?
I met Tim when I was an A&R man at Chrysalis Cool Tempo. And Tim had been told to come and see me. I can never remember the name of his business partner at the time, who was in the band together. So I'm not even going to go there because he's only going to be watching this one day going, oh, it's blah, blah, blah. You never forget. So do you know what I mean? So I never remember. But he came to see me with his then business partner and played some tunes. Which, I'll be honest, for what we were doing at Chrysalis Cool Tempo at that time, it wasn't quite right. Was it a good tune? Yes, it was. Was it right for the label? No.
But what do you mean by that? We said it wasn't quite right. Did the label sort of specialise in a genre? Or?
It was specialising. It was, especially at that point, it was more of a dance label. Okay. Even though, but I say that it was a dance label primarily, and I'd been brought in by Peter Edge.
Oh, legendary Peter Edge, runs RCA.
Correct.
In America.
Yeah, he's the one who brought me in. But
how did he find you? Sorry to jump back, but
I go back. I was DJing. It's okay. DJing turned into club promotion via another mentor in my life, a guy called Erskine Thompson, who is like a legend of the legends. Let's put it that way. And I think we all need to bow and get on our knees for what that man's done for us as a community. Him, Keith Harris, and a few others, they're the ones who really paved the way. When I came along, Keith Harris, Erskine Thompson, Orrin Cozier, Adrian Sykes.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's about it.
They're all the sort of black characters.
There they are.
Business. Wow.
Keith is managing Stevie,
Wonder.
Erskine was that independent maverick, jack of all trades. Started as a DJ, ended up on radio in Birmingham, and just went on, Maxi Priest, Sly and Robbie, you name it, loose ends. It just keeps on going.
Culture defining.
Yes, I'm an unbelievable guy, and who would teach you. There are things that he taught me then, which I am still to this day telling others, and it's like the basic things, how we present ourselves.
Yeah,
It's a in the real scheme of things, it's small, but it's huge. Yeah. That first stereotype that's everything. You've made up your mind. No one came along and said anything, but you've made up your mind within seconds, unless that person is able to change your mindset.
Yeah.
And we got kids today. I experienced something recently, and I always used to go into Ricky Blue, when he first started with us. Yeah, he was always wearing his trousers. It'd be every day. Yeah, Ricky, you need to pull that every day.
What, you wear trousers low?
Yeah,
so
and it's cool.
Yeah.
And I get it. It's cool, but we're now in business.
Yeah.
If you're going to go and conduct a business meeting and you walk in with your trousers, it's like, that's not connecting. That's the stereotype of what someone's looking at. It's like, oh, no. Yes, you might be the avenue too, but still, I don't look at you in a way of like, well, I should be properly respected.
You're not taking it overly serious.
Exactly. And it's to this day.
How do you have that conversation with work, Ricky? How do you say?
The same way my dad would tell me, I'm telling you.
Okay.
And yes, you're going to turn around and kiss your teeth and all the rest of that. Fine. I'm still going to tell you. And I think it's our responsibility to tell each other. Yeah. Because there are loads of things that we do which are like, especially now, it's cool. Even me, look, I'm sitting there with my shirt in a but I'm still wearing a shirt. Yeah. Now, should I really be sitting there with my belly out and all these things? Someone takes it in a certain way. Yeah. And I had a chat with someone recently about how they present themselves. And I had to tell them a story of myself years ago where I've had quite a bit of success. And one of the guys who I meet in a pub, all his mates, and he's bigging me up. Yeah. He's given me the 20-minute intro, all right? But then he finishes it off. Oh, yeah, I remember when we used to come and see you, you used to be sitting there with your belly hanging out. Whoa. It was like, whoa. So regardless of everything that I've done, the thing that you really remember is that.
Wow.
Do you see what I'm saying? And it was just like, and it really struck a chord. And it was a funny thing. And I was like, I didn't carry it away as like I'm burnt. Yeah. But it was like, but that's in his head. It's never gone away. Yeah. There are other, and it made me think there are other execs they're known for doing certain things to the point that when you mention their name, the reaction is people laugh. Yeah. But hold on a minute, this guy's actually a serious...
Well, whatever.
Exactly. But the thing that's first and foremost is that person does a certain thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, we got to change all that. That's the basic stuff. And yes, it's funny, but all of a sudden that becomes your character. Yeah. And if we want to succeed, you know what? Do you see the person who's sitting at the top of these companies? Doesn't matter what color they are. Do you see them with their trousers down? Do you see them wearing a pair of shorts? No, you don't. Yeah. Do you see them wearing a cap, which is like flipped backwards? No, you don't.
Yeah.
So we have to address that stuff and address it early. I'll go to the Ivors. I'll pull someone aside, but like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you wearing that hat?
I think you're one of the people that can actually say that and no one's going to question you because of the stuff you've done. I think you've got the right to, and I think you would do it anyway because in your character, but I think you have the right to. Like, if you say that to me, I'd just take it on the head, accept what you said, and adjust my behaviour because I know that you'd be doing it for the right reasons.
It only comes from one place. It doesn't come from anywhere else. I don't want a fellow exec to be, do you see Rich Castillo? And, oh man, you see, like, why is he always wearing that, excuse my language, wearing that stupid hat on his head?
Yeah.
Because that all of a sudden, they're talking about your hat and not about what you actually do.
Yeah.
And it's a key piece of the jigsaw puzzle.
Entry, isn't it?
100%.
Before you even got into what you're trying to sort of talk about or sell or sort of show, the judgment on that being sort of
all the way.
Your ability to articulate.
Seeing artists, I remember I was at Warner's one day, an artist came in with his crew. There's 8 people.
His crew.
His crew. That's fine. It's also good.
Yeah.
But I then get told that one of them is the manager. And I'm like, one of them's a manager. Which one? Because I couldn't differentiate.
Yeah.
From artist to manager, they're all wearing exactly, it's like a uniform. So I'm like, so who's going to take the manager serious when he goes and sits in well, we're not, because you're all sitting there, all doing the same thing, all busting the same tracksuit. There's no differentiation. No.
It just,
So it's like that picture that you're painting, again, is like it's important. It's so many levels.
Wow, and I love that. I love that you sort of identified that and are brave enough and confident enough to interject whenever you see that. I think, like I said before, Tim, there's a few characters in our business in the UK. I can go to anybody and say that, and we'd all just hold the slap. And as you would say, the same thing with Trenton as well. We'd just take it. I've had an earful for Trenton on numerous occasions, and I've had to just sit down, think about it, turn around and accept it and keep it moving.
I think it's important.
I think there's a lot of young people that don't have that in their lives that would really benefit from having that and having someone like yourself with that experience being able to just be like, this is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I try my hardest. I mean, in fact, I do this thing, mentorship Fridays, where I'll have people down at the office when I can. And it's 9 times out of 10, it's a one-on-one situation. Yeah. So I could get to know each other, just talk about things in general. And then we slowly start to add a couple of other people, and mix it up. And it's really interesting, the conversations that you then get, because it's a comfortable space. And so people are telling each other about themselves, but in a nice way where someone isn't getting all
judged in sort
exactly.
of feeling like they're being belittled.
Because it's important that we're sending the right message.
No, I totally agree. I want to jump back to some of the artists and some of the things that you've done over the years. Obviously, you've got Stellar Songs, you've got the Delirious setup, you've got a bunch of companies. How have you managed to sort of keep them all going for this amount of time? You've obviously been going for a long time. How have you managed to balance the sort of attention span between each company and keeping them all alive?
Do you know what? That's a good question. But I think when I think about it, it's like each company provides a slightly different service to the other, but they all actually just run alongside each other. And when you break it down, it's the same 4 or 5 people that are running the whole thing. It'd be, we meet an artist today, so what do you do? I'm a songwriter. Then you suss them out. It's like, okay, so this person could be alternative, could be that it's mainstream. And you literally say, right, well, we've got these publishing companies. This is what they represent. So I think you're right for this setup, which has certain personnel, not just within our setup, but that we've partnered with that can really help with that writer, that project. Like we have a company called Alternative Songs with David Bianchi at Various Management, which is fantastic. So we do artists like Cassiette over there. Now people are not looking at us thinking, oh, they do that, but we do.
Yeah, you alt rock.
Yes, they're not thinking about that with us at all. But you know what, that's what we do. And when you look at myself and Tim especially, I mean, I've just told you about me and my, how I was mentored and how I'm being introduced to all this stuff. Tim's a drummer. Tim knows more about rock than anyone that I know.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But you would never know.
No, I wouldn't.
I
know he was a producer, so sort of publisher, manager. I didn't know he was. He's
like rock, jazz, because he's studying all the drummers, which has led him down this like rabbit hole of drummers that's like just genres.
It sort of speaks to a sort of the quality in which you guys have curated the company in terms of the characters you signed, because you obviously you got them pretty early, and pretty much on all of them that have really blown up. And I think you guys have managed to recognize something in these people super early, probably because of your understanding of music and culture and the sort of your experiences.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. But I think the fact that we were musicians ourselves, and we love the studio culture. Yeah. So we're always in studios. We sign someone, we're coming to a studio. I want to know where you make this music.
Where you're cooking up.
Exactly. And when you get there, as you know, I remember, and I'll use Naughty Boy as a prime example. You go down to Ealing, you walk in to see one person, but you meet 20.
Yeah, it's F Block days.
Yeah, F Block days. It's like, so you walk in one day, who's that? Oh, that's Emily. Right, okay. Who's that? Oh, Samu. Oh, right. Then you'd hear a voice. Who there was that? You're right in there. Yeah. And there'd be other producers, and it all fed into this pot.
That's a really good point. It's a really fascinating time, because around F Block there was Naughty Boy, there was Emily Sandé.
Oh, there's a million things. Yeah,
there was pretty much, and Sam Smith. There was a bunch of characters that were just kept like feeding into each other, like a bit of an ecosystem.
Yeah,
and you guys were pretty much involved in most of what was going on there.
Well, we were, from our involvement with Ricky, Naughty Boy, Emily was myself and Adrian Sykes.
Of course, yeah.
But we didn't put Emily and Naughty Boy together. They found themselves.
Well, they're just in the studio with
I couldn't even tell you. They'd have to tell you. Okay. They found themselves. Okay. And it was like, I suppose quality finds quality. Yeah. Like-minded finds like-minded. Boom. There it was. But we're already in business, so it's like, right, let's really build this thing up. Mojam then add to that equation. Naughty Boys coming with all these ideas, and it's being spread to all these others to finish these things off. Yeah. And it just grew and grew and grew.
Yeah, it was a great time. I remember you guys were entrenched in all of it. I think, it was mad. The Emily Sandé run was the album did. I think it did million to million.
5 mil plus.
5 million plus.
Adrian can tell you the full numbers, but 5 mil plus.
That doesn't happen, and that was. There was yourself, there was Adrian, there was people like Glenn, Adrian, there was Richie. It birthed a lot. I say birthed. A lot of big characters.
No, I think you're right. It brought a bunch of people together, and everyone played their role 150%.
Yeah. You recognise the opportunity.
Yes, whether you recognise it or not, but you felt there's something here. We're putting our everything in here. So you could have those hardcore conversations with someone. No one's getting vexed.
Yeah.
Because all we want to win. Yeah. That's all we're looking for. And this artist deserves to be that. You've got a manager who's killing it out there to make us. And it was just like, come on, let's go. And so when it got to a point where the A&Ring is on point, the production is on point. I met what's her name, Danny, the other day, who helped Emily with the whole look. Okay. It was just like, and I remember, let me tell you,
distinctive and authentic.
No disrespect, but the look and stuff that was there before wasn't it. Because I remember we were going around playing music, and you play music. And the people just, oh my God, this is amazing.
It was in Emily Sandé's music.
Yeah. And then it'd be like, so what she looked like, all the obvious questions. And there was one meeting in particular where someone goes online, and they're like, we're ready to sign this person, we need to meet her, They went, woo, bang. And then they went to me, and I could see the expression on their face. It was like, is this her? And I looked at the screen. First time I'd seen this picture that was up there. I just got up and left.
Oh my God! Why is that?
Because it was just like, no, that doesn't fit the bill. It didn't fit what you're listening to.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with Emily, and nothing like, but it just 1 + 1
was not matching.
Not adding up.
Wow. So how did you tackle that?
Well, that's, I've got to give Adrian the props, and most of all, got to give it to Emily, because she's the one who had to put in the work, the effort, be told that we got to try and change this up, and if that's not you putting your trust into someone and letting them leave it to me, I'll do this thing, and I'll never forget seeing that first picture. Wow. It was like, wow. It just felt, it was just like, oh, we've arrived. Like, yo, this is game on.
Yeah.
You've got the music. Now you've got this look, which is just like, oh, hallelujah.
So from that point, you were able to sort of make it make sense.
All of it connected, and we when we go shopping, you see a pair of trainers, you like them. That's that. Yeah. There's no question. When you look at the one that you don't like,
yeah, that's
how we are, right? So that's what we're feeding to our public.
Yeah.
So that's the game that we have to play.
I know the fact the way you look at it isn't like, oh, they fucked up. You're like, no, this is just human nature.
Yeah,
this is just how it works. I think when you look at it through that lens, then you're able to not take anything too personal, and you just figure stuff out rather than you problem solve, rather than sort of build a frustration and
that's not getting you anywhere.
Doesn't move you forward. And around the sort of similar time, is that when you came across Sam Smith as well?
Same time.
Literally same time.
Same time.
And how did that come together? How were you able to sort of
again? That's a naughty boy. Yeah. Naughty boy had met him.
Yeah.
We show up at the studio. Tim had gone to the studio. He's seen him. I show up at the studio like a dead. That guy, that voice, and this conversation started. And one thing led to another. So we did a deal between ourselves and Naughty Boy in signing him.
Do you have any idea of the sort of levels that we're going to get to when you signed?
Did we have the?
You were hopeful.
We felt that we felt the potential. Yeah. You hear certain voices, and it's like your brain goes somewhere. It's like, oh, that could be. Yeah. You don't say it, but that's what's fueling everything that you're doing, and especially when you're then looking at the character or the person rather, because. You can have all the talent in the world, but if the person hasn't got the right work ethic, they haven't got the ambition, it's not going to work. Yeah. And if they don't see things in a certain way, I'll test people in meetings. I'll ask some random question. So I'm just looking at your reaction.
Well, you decide you try and throw them off.
Yes, I want to know.
Deal with pressure.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah.
Because it's like if you don't deal with it right, it's like So if we really came down to it. We're going to have a problem here.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can actually not attack, but you can deal with that scenario right there and then, and you're kind of leading them down this rabbit hole. It's like, listen, okay. So the usual question would be, so you've got a song that you love, and you think is going to be the biggest thing in the world. You come in, you play it, and we say shit. What do you do then? Well, this is an everyday scenario, right?
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? And it's about how they respond.
So you apply a bit of pressure to see how they react.
100%.
And from the reaction, you sort of are able to understand whether they're the type of person you feel you can add value to.
Mm-hmm. And work with. You've got to be able to work with someone. If you can't work with someone, like, what are we doing? Because you're going to hit that brick wall. Boom. Yeah. There it is. It's not, and you're going any further. There's
inevitably going to be challenges no matter what.
100%.
So you're going to have to be able to deal with it. And if they're not, then you could sort of call it from that point.
Yeah.
Whether you should be or shouldn't be in business.
100%.
That makes loads of sense. I want to sort of talk about, when I think about big sort of publishers and managers in America that are English, you and Tim are like from my memory, and I've only been in the business for, 20 years. You guys were the first people I saw going to America and really like establish yourself, put your flag in the sand, and really it looked like hit it off really early. What went into your decision with sort of like setting up shop over there and sort of traveling in the first place?
I think the catalyst, we were doing well here, but we went for a meeting at Radio 1. And we've walked in, we got,
we're in the UK.
In the UK, we've got, we're working on a bunch of things. So we're walking in like we're radio pluggers, right?
Okay.
So it's like
Selling songs.
I got 5 songs this week.
Which one do you want?
And in a kind of cocky way, you knew that these songs were good, right? Because predominantly it'd be like, whether it be a Naughty Boy, it's a Stargate, it's a whoever. They're making tunes of quality, Mojam, you name it. It's just like we got these bullets. So we go into this meeting, and I think we'd played some 2 or 3 Stargate productions. Yeah. And
when was it? What year?
I'm not gonna give you the year because this is like.
Sorry, continue.
But the producer says, if I get another, and he uses an expletive. Yeah. If I get another Stargate record, I'll do my expletive heading.
Okay.
And as he's saying it, there's a Stargate record playing
on the radio.
On the radio, as he's saying it. But what it told us was like, we're coming to the end of that run here. Yeah, it's just like it's just overkill, and not for us, but
for the market.
And if you got a producer at Radio 1 telling you that, so and you know how small our game is.
Yeah, gatekeeper. Who's gonna be the difference between you get on radio or not?
Yeah, and but he's also speaking to all the labels, right? Yeah. So they come in with us.
Going to go. I'm not using these guys because the radio 100%. Guy says X, Y, Z.
Yeah, and it literally we saw the work dwindle.
Okay,
and that's when it was Tim who said, you know what, we should go to America, and we'd always wanted to succeed in America, and I think at that point we'd had one song that had gone top 10, Scandalous. Mystique. Yeah. That was the one song that had gone top 10, but nothing else. So something was missing. So we literally put our hands in our own pockets, paid for ourselves to go over, hired a studio. So the guys are in the studio, and me and Tim are just out and about, meeting. But fortunately, because of our careers, we knew quite a few people, so we were able to just a Peter Edge. I can go straight to a Peter.
Your history
exactly. So we can go and see all these people. Tell them we've got these guys in town. Who have you got? So that kind of thing. Now, did we get a lot of love? I'd say not really. There'd be, no one threw us out. But there was no like, oh, there's this guy and there's this person.
You weren't getting that. We
weren't getting that.
Artist
No, not at all. Because you're brand new, right?
Which is understandable.
Yeah, we get that. But we go to one meeting, and again, I'm not going to tell you who with.
I can't wait to buy that.
And we're left waiting for, in effect, about an hour and a half. We're just sitting there. Waiting. In reception, waiting to have this meeting. Just so we can go and meet this person. Right, this is what we're doing. Who have you got?
Yeah.
After 30 minutes, I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm out of here. Tim's like, no, we're on a mission, yo, bro. Come on. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. Yeah. An hour goes by. I say it again. It's like, come on, what, yo, bro, we're on a mission. But at this point, the door opens and the lyric was, oh, you're still here.
Wow.
Shut the door. We stay because they've said I'll be a minute. It's like, okay, cool. So we eventually, after easily an hour and a half, something like that, we go in, we say what we're doing. This is what we're looking for. And the person, back in the day, it's like we're talking CDs, all right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So they go rumble through their outbox. Not even like something fresh. They go in the outbox and they'll start rumbling. They pull out this CD. There's this kid. This kid came in here. Press play. And me and Tim just like look at each other. It's like, literally, what the was that? To this day, I could describe the song because it was like, the song was so descriptive. It's like you're watching a film. It's like you're watching the video. You could see the whole thing in this song. So the song is of a guy who has split up with his missus, or she's just gone off. He realizes how madly in love he is with her, gets into a taxi, gives the driver X amount of money. Just drive. It's raining. The mist builds up on the inside of the window.
Okay.
He writes, "I love you" backwards, so that if she's on the... It was like, yo, what the hell? I've never heard lyrics like this. This is mad. So we show our interest here. Who the hell is that? We don't really get told, but we kind of see on the spine of the CD case. So, and we leave without really knowing. So who was that? So we get back to the studio, which was Sony Studios in New York at the time. It's now gone. It's now a block of flats, unfortunately. And basically, you could say in a weird way, this is the short version. There is a long version. Yeah. There's a kid sitting in reception. We're the kind of people, we see our own, hi, how you doing? Hi, I'm Tim, I'm Danny, and that person says their name. Well, hold on a second. You didn't just write a song called blah, 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 blah. And
we spoke about X, Y, and Z, yeah.
And he went, how the hell did you hear that song? It was Neo.
Oh my God. Wow.
And that spawned,
so that's where the song So Sick came from.
Literally.
Wow.
This is within the first 2 weeks of us being in New York.
That's mad.
So he eventually, and again, this is the short version, ends up in the room, and that's another funny thing. When he walks in, he thinks that me and Tim are the producers because we're the two black guys.
Okay, you and Jimmy Jam.
And we introduce him to these two white Norwegian guys. And there's this moment where he stands there, it's like, he's confused.
At this point, had he already vocaled the song at that point? Okay.
This is the very first moment. Because Sony Publishing were trying to sign him. And they needed an office, but all the studios had been taken. So Tim said, you can use our live room. And that's how he came into the... Okay. So it's like the things that had happened that made it all kind of connect was kind of crazy. And so the moment we just said, just play him something. And they hit play. He just kind of, what? You got anything? Says, have you got anything else? They play something. Oh, right, yeah. I've got to do this meeting. Then I've got a session downstairs. When I finish that session,
we're going to do this.
And it started. It started that night. So the first song they wrote together was a song called Time, which ended up on his album. Second, third night, then all the other bullets literally started to land one after another. So Sick land. So it just kept on going. And they wrote, easily, I'd say 12 to 14 songs in that time period, of which I think 9 or 10 actually came out. Yeah. Every single one of them landed in the top 10 Billboard, regardless of artist.
Wow! And Neil hadn't had any success before that. He
had that Mario song, "Let Me Love You."
Oh, he wrote it.
He wrote that.
Got it.
So that was his exactly. And that was his real opener.
Okay.
And then it was but when he connected with the guys, they were just letting these songs off. And they would do their thing and he was just so quick. Yeah. The combination was right. He heard something in what they were doing that sparked him. Got it. And once they understood that, it's like, okay, let's go.
So that was the first one. And what did that lead to from the Stargate?
Led to everything else. Because it's like those, so that one situation led to our connection with Rock Nation, because Neo was signed to Rock Nation.
Oh, I didn't. Okay.
Because they were at Def Jam.
Of course, because Jay-Z was running Def Jam.
Correct.
Which is where, that's where the connection is.
Yes, and then this guy Tata shows up, and it's like, the rest is history. And what he realized is that, these guys have got this certain something. We need to be connected to that. And so they then offer us a song deal.
Okay, what is the song deal?
So song deals basically you were getting paid. They'll pay you up front. It's like we'll do a 10 song deal, but here's the money for it right now.
Yeah.
Now imagine we're there. As I told you, we put our own hands in our pockets. There's a realization that this thing could work, but it's going to take some money to fund this thing. Then you've got this guy saying, we'll do a deal with you right now. We'll pay you for 10 songs.
So you look at the deal to sort of stay
Just
there.
go, mate.
Yeah. Incredible.
And it literally allowed us between them and later down the line the agencies, the BMIs and the ASCAPs of this world, as the hits started landing, they're also coming forward and giving advances, and that's what helped us in our accommodation, hiring studios. You name it, one thing led to another.
All the way through to the Rihanna and almost.
Yeah, and again, that's a Rock Nation.
Okay, of course.
You could say it's the same set, the Neo Stargate combo. It's those same, in a way, it's like those same songs that sparked the whole Rihanna thing.
Of course, in a similar way to sort of, I've seen a sort of correlation between a community of like F Block and the community of what's going on with the P Edge and yourselves and Neo, and how that sort of spirals into bigger sort of broader success.
When there's an understanding from all the integral players, it's amazing what happens. The vibes, it's like you're all pushing each other.
How do you identify when you're in it?
How do you? You know what? It's like, and I remember my first real meeting with Tata about music, right? And I realized, we're the same.
In what sense?
When we hear that tune, that thing, we're going off. We're just like, we've lost it. And I will, or he will convince you that thing that you'll be listening, it's okay. Yeah. By the time we finish, you're telling the next person.
Yeah.
You've caught in, we've got that enthusiasm that we've sold to you about this. This is what this is, and we've given you all the reasons why this song and that artist. This is you're gonna feed off it, and you're gonna leave. And you might say, I was at the studio today, and I heard this tune, and the way that these guys were going on about these tunes, and you're telling the next person.
Yeah. The energy to be passed on.
And it'd be like a bat. It's like playing tennis.
Yeah.
And we're all doing our thing to find those pieces that make this thing work. So it felt like you'd walk into the studio and someone's ready. They're waiting for you to show up just to say, yo, you need to hear this. Yeah. It's like, what? And you'd hear it and be like, damn. And all that's doing to you is like, right, I need to go find one.
Yeah.
And it just sparked this thing, and it was infectious.
Crazy. It's so exciting. I think, and just for other young executives as well, sort of, because sometimes, I remember sort of finding something that I love and trying to convince everyone to sort of share the same feeling, to sort of learning how to refine the art of actually conviction and articulation around the conviction so that it's credible with people. I think there's this sort of, and I don't harp on that being the sort of black side of what we do, but being a young black male executive going into bigger buildings, trying to convince people, especially in the current climate with everything having data attached to it. So
I hate data.
How do you? And this is something I want to touch on as well. Is how do we? And you might not have the answer, but how do we approach handling things in the current world with data attached to it and convincing people to still have the same enthusiasm with no data around records?
For me, I think, and I get it. It's the new way we can consume music, new way we understand what's going on per se. But what it's done is actually taken us right away from true quality. Because when that true quality comes along, all of a sudden, all this data makes absolutely no sense. So it's like, and if you think about it, when Adele first landed, did you need data to come and tell you that this is amazing? No, you didn't.
It made you feel something.
Right. and it would automatically take off. You know, radio are playing it not because data said you should play it. They played it because it was amazing. Yeah. You know, Ed Sheeran, whether you like him or you don't, he had some songs these are undeniable. Yeah. They just automatically get played. It went straight back to the old days where it's getting played because it's good. You know, I think the outcome of it all for me is that we've gone so far away from true quality that it's forcing us back. Yeah. You know, you're now getting artists and kids who are coming through. You'll hear songs and you'll be like, are you listening to blah, blah, blah? And they're like, who's that? Yep. You know, because they're not listening to all the waffle. Yeah. They're looking at and wanting to do something else. So they're doing things which are true to them. Yeah. You know, and yes, I think they have been inspired or they've heard through, you know, in their homes, their parents are playing certain things. They're influenced by all of that stuff, but they're not making the cookie cutter stuff. Yeah. They're making stuff which is like, these lyrics this is some real shit.
Yeah, the people are really feeling things again.
And that for me is what it's always been about. It's never been about the other stuff for me. That's
amazing. I also I've spoken before, I think COVID really helped people being at home, having to learn instrumentation.
Most definitely.
To sort of playing stuff out
for themselves. Yeah.
And sort of try and identify what greatness to them feels like, sort of thing. And I think we're sort of coming out of that phase of them being sort of more refined musicians and artists. And I think we're going through a patch of a bunch of artists that are starting to really stand up and be counted as artist propositions.
100%.
And the other thing sort of I've noticed is that a lot of the artists that are having massive success right now of sort of like 3 albums in or 2 albums.
They've been at it for years.
They've been at it, and sort of the quality is really, really starting to cut through. So in a world with data, how does a young executive exercise having patience?
Do you know what? If you believe, and it's something that we're faced with every day, especially now, where to me the present business model doesn't necessarily work for me. We're used to this, like, as a publisher, I'm used to this 3-year model. Yeah. But now it's taking me 4-5 years for an artist to get from A to B. Yeah. You know, so that model is really, it's not working. So you have to look at things differently. You know, it's for the long term. That's the only way that this stuff is working.
You have to change your deals accordingly to sort of allow yourself room to sort of
along the way you are. Yeah. The model is still the 3-year model, but you're approaching it different, you know. And I think people are now way more open to like changing the numbers to make it work, because everyone understands. You know what? I haven't really got anywhere, but I need another to get. So it's like, how are you going to do that? You got to open up the avenues for that to happen.
And are you finding the lawyers are a lot more flexible now and are coming to the table?
Lawyers, some lawyers.
There was a period I felt where a lot of lawyers were sort of advising sort of artists and writers on deals which were very short term and quick.
Yes,
sort of thing, in order to allow them to sort of get into another deal sooner. Sort of thing.
Yeah, but look at how many artists are now out in the cold. Yeah, and they're great artists, but they're out in the cold.
Yeah, because of this, I believe sometimes, not always. Yeah. Sometimes because of the sort of short-term thing.
100%.
Of the deal making. So I think there's an argument to say some of the lawyers could sort of look at the bigger picture.
They can, and I think managers also, you know, because behind the lawyer, when it comes to the deal, the lawyer plays front. He plays front and center. You get managers who play this game. They'll come and sit down and say, you know, it's not about the money for us and da 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 da. That's to you. Yeah. Go back and talk to the manager and be like, yo, no, this is what we want, and these are the terms that we want. And then the lawyer has to come in, because that's, you know.
Yeah, the lawyers are instructed. They're instructed to a degree. There are some who sort of do a bit more than they're instructed, but
agreed. But you've got to have managers and artists who are prepared to listen. Yeah. But there's a lot, especially in our world, that one artist has heard that so-and-so has got X, so there's no way that I can take less than that.
Yeah, because I see myself better than them. So
like, where are we going?
Yeah.
That's not the business.
Yeah, and that's why you sort of try and find a manager that could sort of help you navigate that better.
Yeah.
Not everyone is lucky enough to have that around them at the point at which they have interest for them, sort of thing.
But again, like as I said to you earlier, with a writer or an artist, how you challenge them, you're also doing the same with a manager. You want to know that, you know what, this manager is amenable for business.
3 years of working together. Am I going to hate this guy? I'm going to hate this guy. Can you get the deal, business done? All those sort of questions.
All of those questions, and it's like, and that takes time to learn, and it's by experience. You know, there are people that I done business with years ago, like, oh my God, they were an absolute nightmare. You know, and then it's the unsuspecting kind of quiet person. Yeah. They were actually oh man, and I'm learning from them.
Well, they were actually on it. They
were seriously on it, and they said, oh, but we could do this and try this, and oh, we can, right? Okay, yeah, let's go. And they give you that impetus to like really do your bit for the project.
Yeah. For young, obviously your primary business has been on the publishing side of what you do. For young sort of entrepreneurs or young people that want to get into publishing, that want to build an independent publishing setup, have you got any advice? Because obviously publishing money is normally sort of regarded as longer money. It takes a bit more time to come through.
Yeah.
How does a young independent person that wants to set up Stellar Songs survive in the market without and still pay their rent whilst building a company?
I mean, do you know what? Someone asked me a question the other day, and I was like, if you're asking me am I going to start in the music industry now?
Yeah.
The answer is no. Okay, that's me, because I don't feel that there's enough support in the startup world.
Yeah.
You know, it's, you're kind of, in a funny way, it's a bit of potluck.
Yeah.
Especially now. That's what it feels like. You're putting your, whatever you've got, you put that together, you put it on a you're backing that horse. It's like going to the betting shop, right?
Yeah, it's gambling. Brutal gambling.
You either win a tenner, 100 quid, 1,000 quid, or nothing.
Well, not good.
And there's no one who's going to come along and go, right, hey, mate, you know that bet, if you'd have put it on number 7, do you see what I mean? Yeah. You don't have that. Now it's all about, you've got to show, you've got to put up.
Yeah.
You know, it's only when you've had the 1, 2, 3 successes that someone's then going to come along and go, yeah, actually, yeah, maybe we should. Yeah. And so that real startup, that's a tough call.
So it sounds like you suggest that and correct me wrong, you suggest a young person should maybe start off at another company and learn their craft and then work their way through.
100%.
Ambition of starting something of their own once they've sort of understood the marketplace and sort of find an opportunity to have some success in order to get some real investment in, and then step out.
I think that's the way, but I think for whoever wants to start something like that, they've got to put their cards on the table from day one. Yeah. So if I'm going to offer you a job, tell me from day one. Yeah, this is my right. So then I know it's like, okay, well, so you're a bit like me. Yeah. All right, yeah, we can help you, and you start, or you don't. But you've got to put your intention on the table. Yeah. Don't just, because I see too many people who they're not saying what they want to do.
But they're trying and planning, so
it's like that doesn't make it. Well, if I don't know that's how you're thinking, how does that work? It doesn't, But if I do, then it's like we're even advising you in a certain way. We're teaching you in a certain way. We're knocking you in a certain way because you need all of that. Are you sure? It's a simple question. Are you sure? Not did your mate tell you? Are you sure? What do you think? Don't ask me what I think. What do you think?
Yeah.
Because all of that is what this game is about.
Yeah. And I've also noticed over the years, I think you've helped develop some of the most exciting young executives in the business. I think when you look at Ricky Blue, what he's done, you look at Shrub De Silva, and even with Derek Hamadumi at the moment, who is a good friend, who I see doing really good things. What is it in these characters that you identify that sort of makes you want to work with them? Or do they come to you, and how does that work?
It's a bit of both. With Ricky, Tim met Ricky, I think on Oxford Street.
Yeah.
Back in randomly doing something which we would regard as like That's it. It's a no-go area.
Yeah.
I think he was selling CDs on the street, which was a thing for a while. Exactly. That's how Tim met Ricky, and they started a conversation. I remember getting a phone call. Like, oh, you need to meet this kid. I think he's just like us.
Amazing.
Literally.
Oh.
It's like, okay, well, if you say he's like us, let's go. Because that's what you're looking for. You're looking for those who've got to get up and go. You're not looking for the person who you've got to come and tell them, right, you got to do this today, and at 11 o'clock you got to do that, and that's not it.
Yeah.
Get up off your ass, get out there, go do it. When you find it, bring it. We're certain type of characters. You've either got that get up and go, or you don't.
Yeah. Fair. Okay, great. So those characters all had that.
All of them. Shirav is definitely a go-getter.
Yeah.
He proved himself. It's like, I didn't even know him.
Yeah.
But I knew the name.
Yeah.
I'd hear these records. Oh, what label's that on? Oh, right. Oh, that's that guy again. And I think it was through Ricky and Glyn that I got to know Shirav, properly, and then in turn got to know Derek.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing about all of these characters, they all stood up for each other.
Amazing.
And that was and that's a big calling card for me. It's like, you could have your doubts about any one of them, and you'll find that the other one will, no, they'll back them up to the hilt.
Which is a good sign, because you're working with somebody, they'll do the same for you.
100%.
Which is amazing. No, I think you've identified those characters really, really well. You've recently been given an MBE, which I think is incredible. Were we expecting it? How has that affected what you're doing day to day at the moment?
Was I expecting it? No. I wasn't expecting it. Has it changed my day? Has it changed my life? No.
Okay.
Real talk, I've never even written it down. I don't use it on
your signature
on everything.
Yeah.
And not that I'm against it.
Yeah.
That's just me. That to me, I was named Daniel. My friends call me Danny. That's it. It doesn't need Danny, blah, 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 MBE. It's like, to me, that's me. Yeah. For someone else, that's them. Okay. Does it feel good to have received it? I'll be honest with you. When I first got wind that myself and Tim were getting it, it was actually a huge question mark for me.
Yeah. In what sense?
When I think of the history of the monarchy, it was a problem.
Colonialism around.
Yeah, it was a problem. It was a problem. But I then, when I think of the sacrifices that my mum and dad made for me to give me this opportunity to go and do what I am now doing, I think my mum at one point might have been doing 3 jobs. My dad's doing 2 jobs. But why are they doing that? They could have gone back to Ghana. My dad's finished his studies, could have gone back to Ghana years ago. Yeah. But I came along. Yeah. And it's like they've put up and shut up for me, And I remember telling my mum, and the expression on her face when I told her, she sat there in silence.
Really?
And I told her, like, Mum, just want you to know that this is possibly, because you get wind, there's like, and she just sat there in silence for at least an hour. Not a word came out, and it's like that's why I've accepted it.
Yeah.
I'm not accepting it for me. I'm accepting it for her, and I'm accepting it for my daughter.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it was really important to me that our children, and when I say our children from our communities, see us being successful. That's the biggest message of all. Thank you to my mum. I hope my daughter's proud. But I want everyone who is like me, who's 9, or 10, or 11, or 12, whatever, to see that situation. Like, oh, that could be me. Yeah. And that was my driving force for accepting. Yeah. But if it was about colonialism and all the rest of that,
and that's what they can lead to. I think, regardless of your opinion on whatever the establishment is, I think the hope you give to a people in receiving it and it being out there is something worth doing just to inspire you young people to sort
Yeah, it's one of the most important things. One of my ambitions is to open a school.
Yeah. In the UK or
in the UK,
Yeah.
in Ghana.
Yeah.
It's like that's what I want. That's what I want to do. And wherever I can help, if I see a situation, it's like this ain't quite right. Right, what can I do to help to make that better? It doesn't matter what it is, because I think we have to strive to be better. We mustn't just accept that, or what we've got, we're great. We're not. There's a whole nother step that we can get to.
Yeah. So I've also seen, to remind me of something else that you've done. I remember on the Mobo stuff, or the work you do behind the scenes for the Mobos. Do you think the UK has enough sort of award systems in place to sort of reward black culture and black music?
That's a good question. Does it have enough?
What is enough? I don't know.
Yeah. What is enough? I would say that for me, something like the Mobos needs to be as big, or even bigger than the Brits. That's how I see it. It should be on that level. For what has come out of the UK. It's music of black origin. Trust me, this thing it's as wide as it comes. So why is this show not getting the props that it should have? Why aren't we looking? We should, for me, it's like Mobo's announced. It's like, yo, what am I wearing? What's my table? It's like it should be an absolute roadblock, but for some reason it isn't. We've got to change this. This should be mainstream TV, mainstream online, mainstream everything, because the culture that's behind it is what we're all following. It doesn't matter what color you are, or it doesn't matter where you are. Our culture is number one. So how come something like that isn't getting the props that it should? So we have to look at that, and sometimes it's about the organization, short-sightedness. And I'm not saying that they've done anything wrong, but there's more that can be done. And that for me is the important thing.
Yeah, I've seen you be an advocate for that. I've been in boardrooms with you where you're driving change and sort of trying to get everybody to sort of pull together to make sure we're all putting resources to support the award.
I think it's important.
Yeah. No, I think you do good work, and I think it is the most important sort of, black award ceremony in the UK. And I also think it should be a global thing. I think it should be something that's
agreed
globally. And how that happens, I'm sure it will figure itself out at some point. But I do think it's something that should be acknowledged globally.
Yeah.
It is music of black origin.
Exactly.
There's two... Basically, at the end of these podcasts, generally, I have two key questions that we ask. Don't worry, it's all good. It's just the questions are, we have two things. One thing that's changed in the business over the years, and one thing that hasn't changed over the years. So from your perspective, you might have already said this in the conversation that we had, but I'm interested in the things that have changed and the things that don't from your lens. Are they let's start with the things that have changed. Is there anything that's changed over the last sort of, since you've been in the business, something that's...
Since I've been in the business, the one big change, I remember going to my first awards show.
Yeah.
And it felt like there were 5 black people in the room.
Yeah.
As opposed to the last one, where it feels like there's 200 people in the room. Wow. And that's a huge difference for me. Yeah. Because I think the first one, I think I named them before. One of the people I forgot was Lincoln Elias. Yeah. So it was Lincoln, Adrian, Mervyn Lynn.
Yeah.
Erskine, Keith Harris. Then I'm struggling. Yeah. I'm really struggling. And I'm sure there were a couple more, but we were never in the same place at the same time. So it always felt like there's like 4 or 5 of you. That's it.
Yeah.
As opposed to now, where you walk into a room and you're like, all right, okay.
There's a bunch of characters.
Yeah.
It's quite a few.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that annoys me, and it goes back to the basics, again, is how we present ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like, here we are at these award ceremonies, and 9 times out of 10, we're the ones who ain't dressed for the part.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it annoys me.
Yeah.
It's like come to the party properly.
Yeah.
You know, whether you run a company or not, come properly, present it, because that's
yourself.
But we don't. We're still, want to come casual. Still want to wear our cap. We got to get out of that.
I hear you.
And I think I'm going to be going on about that until I go down in 6 foot under. Because it's so important.
Your funeral will be like, hold on a sec.
You don't see Big John standing there with his cap back, do you?
Never. Another legend.
Right, he's running,
Only to the world.
So understand that. So if you're wearing a hat now, when do you take it off? You might as well take it off right now for us to take you seriously.
Yeah.
And for others to take you seriously. But that's a whole nother.
The second part of the question is one thing that's not changed. Thing that still fundamentally stays the same no matter what. And I think you've touched on it throughout this whole thing, but
I think there's a lot of things that haven't changed. I think we've got people who are running labels now. But the thing that really hasn't changed for me is we need people who are running companies.
Okay. But what do you see as a difference?
We need to own our own shit.
Yeah.
We need to show that we can be a success on our own terms for then someone else to look at you and go, right, yes, you need to come and run our operation.
Yeah.
But we've got to change the way our approach. Too many of us are coming into it just not putting anyone down to come and get a paycheck, because that's it's about survival.
Yeah.
But how many of us are coming in to go, we're going to come and do this for ourselves. Yeah. And that's why I love the Adexes of this world and what he's doing. And there are a few others. I'm just using him as a prime example. But we need more of that, the more independently minded characters. Yeah. That's what we need. And that for me would make a huge change.
Amazing. All right. Thank you. I think, first of all, thank you for coming on. I think the conversation that we've had with me are really important. I think young people are going to be inspired by it. So thank you for coming all the way out to here to do it. You're someone I look up to and lean on for stuff in terms of advice and mentorship throughout the years. And I think a part of my career has been helped by me seeing you guys and understanding that things are possible. So I appreciate that. And yeah, this is the hot seat, and thank you.
And it's hot. Thank you. And thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you
Is that all right?
Danny. Yeah, I was getting emotional. That it's inspiring. Your journey has been really inspiring.
It's so important what you do. I cannot stress enough. It's so important. It's so important. I know sort of